Big Bootsie, man. I'm back. Street Knowledge Podcast in effect. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Please hit that like button. Hit that like button. Working hard up here, man. Hit that like button, man. My subscribers is rising. I'm glad it's rising authentically. We don't have to talk crazy about people. And I want to get this one clear. I want to get this clear. This ain't throwing no punches at Max B because I really want to analyze this correctly, man. And it seems like a lot of people like to throw that snitch word out so easy. People that's just on the internet, that's not ever even been in the street, utilizing the word that they hear everybody else saying, and basically, or probably a lot of people that is from the streets. But I'm just confused the way certain things work inside of the court of law, how they utilize things. And me, this is my take, my opinion. I'm gonna let Ceddy Nash break down some of the paperwork. We're gonna react to Ceddy Nash. I'm using this under fair use. But also, Bullets Gotti, salute, bro. You already know. Always respect, homie. The court of law, how they change stuff, make things to be able to work in their honor. Status Boom, appreciate you. You already know. Salute to you too, my G. The court of law, they do things real trickery. And a lot of it be to save their own ass, to be honest. Because if you keep it 1,000, if a person wasn't at this crime scene, how did they know a person from New York got something to do with something that's going on in New Jersey? That's first of all. So his name had to be told by the only two, his brother or the girl. The girl already said she told and still try to switch it around and make it look like he did something so incredibly bad to her. Right? That's one thing. Now he gets all that time. Even though people do tell and they do get time, even when they tell, they just don't get what they were supposed to get. Some of them get time, especially when in case of murders and things of that nature. They definitely gonna make sure you get something, even if you do testify. But at the beginning of it, there was no testifying. Another thing, you have to take the stand after you actually tell on the person. You still got to get on the stand so the person that you're accusing of what you're saying to be true, they have the right to face their accuser, right? So he never got on the stand and still got 75 years. And he never said nothing. Nobody ever said nothing this whole time he been in jail that he had told on them. But I guess his brother is coming out now and saying, because of his plea to actually go ahead and come home, because that sentence was a real ridiculous one, 75 years, and he wasn't even over there or anything. So his lawyers, Gongo Roach said that he helped him with his appeal to get back in court, to get out of jail. I want to talk to Gongo Roach because I really want to know if his brother even have a chance for an appeal. From what I'm hearing, he don't have a chance for an appeal. I don't know if he could come down and do another plea and hope they drop some time off if he plead to something, even though he lost in court. I'm not sure of that, or is the nail in the coffin. One thing why I'm saying what I'm saying is because if that was me and I know, the nail's in the coffin, I can't get out, but they know that you wasn't over there and, they wanted you to do a plea and say yes to whatever they asking, then I would have just told my brother, yeah, go ahead, man. Go and do that, man. Damn, put that back in. But Gerard Cook, put back in what you were saying about the appeal, because I need to know about this appeal. So he still have a chance for an appeal, right? So and this is my theory, right? What I always said with Young Thug and them. When the guy, what's his name, Gunner, when they was asking him, is YSL a gang? And he says yes. Ron Boog, salute. And he says yes to he's a gang member. And you know, inform, they asking questions and they saying yes and yes. My theory is, y'all let the man go because he said yes. I'm telling y'all, it's not a gang. I don't care what he told y'all and said yes to, because y'all was gonna let him go. Any crook on this planet would say yes. Did y'all let him get on the stand, or let him actually tell y'all why he felt is a gang? Did he get jumped in? Did he get did he pay money to be in it and we said, oh yeah, now you in the gang? Did he say any of that? He just said yes. If y'all would have asked him, do you eat doo-doo? And the only thing he had to do is say yes to come home, then why wouldn't? That mean they bamboozled the court. Because now the court, what they saying is now they can use him just saying yes. It would go against Thug's case. But how? When Thug's still saying it's not a gang, it's a record label. I don't care what that man told you. He said something to save himself so he can go home. That doesn't mean that it's a gang. But the court system's got it rigged up so when you do go to trial, they can utilize what another man said, which is yes. If I was a juror, I would want to hear what that man, why he feel that it's a gang. I would want to hear it. And pretty much the same thing with Max B. You know, he's saying yes to certain things. But we're going to review some of this. But I'm not understanding how courts can use something against a person because they let a person get out just by saying yes with no full description of nothing. So what if he would have said no? That means he can't get out of jail now, right? If he would have said no. Oh, you ain't following what we said, what you supposed to do. And I'm going to tell you the only reason why they want to get these yes confessions and don't care nothing about full confessions is because they ducking a lawsuit. If Max had any way to come home and he did those 20-some years in there without him, and they would have just left it alone, but some hard way, he was able to fight and get back in court. And they knew something that he might have had would have got him up out of there if he would have went all the way and took a chance with getting back and going back to trial. So they get those yeses just to seal the deal as far as them being sued for putting the person in jail for that long. That's my point, Ron Boogs. They didn't ask the intricate details of why he felt it was a gang. He just said yes. So to me, I would have, if that was me in there and that was my co-defendant and he was in there saying yes, I wouldn't even stress it. Because y'all let him say what he want to say. Now, see, they need to get some lawyers to fight against this type of stuff right here. Because, meaning, be able to use what the next person said far as yes. He's not in there actually telling what the crime and when they did the crime, how it this, that. He's just coming home to he been in there 75 years is too long. So he's just saying yes to basically appease them. That's how I look at it. This is an appeasing stage, right? But if it was my co-defendant and they come telling me now I get a second chance to go to trial again uphill, and then they try to use what Thugger said yes to or what Max B said yes to, I would be like, that don't, because he said yes, don't dictate that was the truth. How could y'all even say that that was the truth? Y'all let the man tell y'all yes. Once again, if y'all would have asked him to eat, do he eat doo-doo? He would have said yes. And y'all would have believed it? Would y'all would have believed that court system? And then y'all let him out of jail. I don't see why that should affect the next person's case. I really don't see why it should affect the case. Now, with that being said, if that would affect the person's case, I think it should be broken down in all segments of how it would affect the person's case. Let the person know what they're pleading to right now will be a reason to actually keep the next person in jail. Like this right here is a I guess a gift and a curse. I guess it's a gift and a curse, man. That a person actually saying yes. So we're gonna react to some of ceddy stuff. He's reading off Max B stuff.
The sound, we good now? All right, let's get into it. And it was also understood by you that if your brother did in fact use that gun against one or both of these men, they'd probably get killed. Is that right? Answer yes. And as it turned,
so he just said basically with your brother using that gun on both of these men, they'd probably be killed. Is that right? So he basically asking the Max B, being that you know your brother going over there with the gun to rob them, it could be a possibility that they could get killed. And he says yes.
turned out your brother did in fact, in the course of trying to steal money from David Taylor, use the gun against them. Is that correct? Answer yes. Question. He shot and he killed them. Is that correct? Answer yes. Question. And that's your understanding of the case, that Mr. Taylor died as a result of a gunshot wound, and that it was, you weren't there personally, you didn't witness it personally, but do you understand that that was the state's case against your brother, that your brother was the person who pulled the trigger? Is that correct? Answer yes. Question. All right. And you weren't there, so certainly can't dispute it. Is that correct? Question. Okay. Are you satisfied based on all of that information? Are you satisfied that you are in fact guilty of aggravated manslaughter by way of what's known as conspiratorial accomplice liability? And that, in the way that I have explained that to you. Answer. I'm satisfied, yes. Question. Okay. Do you have any questions at all about the offense that you're pleading guilty to, or accomplice liability or conspiracy? Or do you feel that you have a sufficient understanding of this offense and these forms of liability that you can knowingly, voluntarily, and intentionally enter a guilty plea? Are you satisfied with that? Answer yes. Mr. Lataraka, Judge, Mr. Delaney, satisfied. The court. All right. And this court is certainly satisfied. In this instance, defendant has had the advice of extremely competent counsel, not just in these proceedings, but in all the PCR proceedings that are before me, that raise significant issues and raise very interesting issues that probably, if decided, will go a lot of higher than my pay grade before it's ultimately decided. In any event, I'm satisfied that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily entered his plea to the charge of aggravated manslaughter. That he's knowingly and voluntarily given up his right to have this court decide the PCR motion. He understands that in doing so, there is no PCR anymore, that there will be no appeal of what we're doing here. But in the event of some other court decide that what we did has to be overturned for whatever reason, the best possible scenario for this defendant is that we are put back before we were, before we started proceeding about 15 to 20 minutes ago. That is all of the convictions which I have vacated, would be reinstated, and he would be subject to that sentence imposed by Judge Carroll and affirmed by the appellate division are subject only to me handling the PCR. We had it started off there because
they basically pretty much said if another judge or some powers to be feel like bringing Max back, the court overturned what they just did by letting Max out, then they will have to start all over again, is what he just read. So once again, you know, the ball is in their court, but for them to vacate those charges, they really knew Max B whatever he got snitched, because he got snitched on. So whoever snitched on him basically gave up information that he really wasn't there. So the charges that they put on him and gave him 75 years is really what he shouldn't have been getting. But he got 75, he was in there 20-something, and now that, you know, they filed the right paperwork to pull him back in there, they know they have to cover their ass by doing this type of plea agreement, and he would have to say yes to certain things. So a lot of people is having mixed signals about this plea agreement. They say he didn't never say his brother's name in court. He still said his brother, but that don't mean he don't got other brothers. But I don't know, man. The way they got this the snitch game or the snitch words set up, but somebody just said his brother, if he might have a chance to file for another appeal, and they'll utilize this stuff with Max B unless he had the plea agreement that you can't utilize that from saying yes. But still, it just brings me to the point of, just because a person said yes because y'all gonna let him out of jail, what they got to do with me is what I would be saying if that was my co-defendant. But if they can utilize these tactics to keep people in jail, that's kind of crazy. That's really kind of crazy, because you offering a person some freedom and they just got to say yes to you saying you seen a flying car today fly past your window. Well, they probably got flying cars somewhere by now, but I'm just saying, y'all know what I'm saying. You just gonna be a yes man so they don't get this lawsuit, man. Is all what I'm saying, man. We're gonna finish.
And it's basically what you're hearing is the courts agree that his testimony is basically good enough, and they won't be going back and forth and trying to do all of this BS and mental gymnastics where Max B essentially has to sit in jail any further, because they say, hey, the 20 years that you serve, 85% of that, bruh, you are good to go. Hey, before we get into this longer part of this clip.
My point exactly. His that 20-something years you served, you good to go, because really, he probably should have got a manslaughter charge. Normally what manslaughter charge get? Like 10 years, 5 the least. But he done did 20-something. That's crazy. That's crazy, man.
Hit that QR code real quick. Download the free Cash App. Get paid to play. Read the. Said he put him in a well. So let's start it off right here.
Tides boosted for school lunches.
So I don't know, man. Y'all put it in the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. For real, y'all hit that like button. True Wi-Fi said he was wrongfully, he was falsely charged. Why would you say he was falsely charged? Because Dave's basically trying to say he was the ringleader. Oh man, the way they got this world set up now, boy, the way these cats out here telling, y'all better definitely leave the streets alone, man. Because they is not playing. They making up things as they go along now with these laws. Totally out of line. Totally out of line.
Yes, sir. Question. All right. Now, with the understanding that all the other charges were vacated, are you going to be pleading guilty to this?
Aknu said that man got on the stand and told, homie. That's what I'm trying to figure out, man. Y'all dropping the chats where he got on the stand. I see, they asking him these questions through the paperwork, and he's saying yes to everything, but they saying that he was just sitting down like the what was the dude Thugger? He was just sitting there. He wasn't on the stand or nothing, and saying yes. When you get on that stand, you're gonna be really telling the story of what you knew, how you knew, what time y'all went, how you seen it, what happened inside the house, all of that type of stuff. This right here got him just saying yes. So break it down to me that he got on the stand, because somebody else said that, but Ron Book said the streets changed it. Most definitely ain't the same. It definitely ain't. The streets is a rap. These dudes out here is crazy, man. But they act like they never gonna get caught until they get caught, and now they want to tell something before they even get to the precinct, man. This crazy out here, man. And they just know that people greedy for money, and at the time they just think that they so slick and get away with it, man. Saying yes, he's still told. Yes or no? If he's saying yes, then that's what it sounds like, right? Saying yes. That's what's tricky about this one right here, man. That's what's tricky about this one. And his brother is, they saying his brother's upset because his brother must have seen the plea agreement when he got out to everything Max was saying. We're going to finish listening to what ceddy said.
One charge as amended or the aggravated manslaughter. Answer. Yes, Judge. Question. Are you doing that voluntarily? Answer. Yes, Judge. Question. Anybody forcing you, threatening you, twisting your arm, making you plead? Answer. No, sir. Question. Okay. Now, I had to ask this question. I know it's probably certainly not true, but are you taking any medication or other substance which could affect your ability to understand what's happening or make a reasonable, rational decision today? No, sir. If that were true, you wouldn't be able to even know that because it would be drugged up. But I always hated that question.
Right, that's
okay,
a crazy
now,
question, man.
You didn't have to plead. We already had a trial. So I can't tell you, you don't plead, you're going to have a trial. But what would have happened had you not had an agreement today is that I would have declared your PCR. I don't know what I would have decided, but I would have decided either for or against. If I decided for it in your favor, quite frankly, I still can't tell you. And one of the things that we were going to argue today, what the remedy is. I can tell you for sure, the remedy is not a new trial. You understand that? You understand that? Answer.
118 said he played the ish out of Car, Pistol Pete. Why you say he played him? I think I seen Whack 100 saying something about that as well. Did Pete respond to that situation yet?
At best, the remedy you could get would be what the plea was offered back then. At best,
He lied to Pete. Fate. What he said? What he told Pete? That there was nothing paperwork or nothing on him or something. Damn, I gotta go watch that Pistol Pete joint, man. This getting crazy out here, man. So,
all right. And that's if I granted the PCR. I could have denied the PCR, and you would have had a right to appeal that. In any event, by doing this today, by pleading guilty, I will not make any decision. In essence, you're withdrawing that PCR. You understand that? Answer, yes. Question. And you're doing that voluntarily. Answer, yes. Question. Now, you filled out that his plea form, which includes dismissing all of the charges, which we just did. And that sentence now that's recommended is 20 with an 85% NERA. You understand that? Answer, yes. Question. And of course, you're going to get credit for every day that you've been in jail or in prison, wherever you've been incarcerated. You get that credit against. You understand?
Andre Bundle said, so they all told on each other, and Pooh Sims has been saying Max told. Well, I think Pooh Sims saying he told now with this plea agreement, him just saying yes to everything. I don't think that he was saying Max told at the beginning. The girl was trying to insinuate that, but that paperwork would have definitely been out if that was to be true. So the brother, in all these years, the brother would have been mad at him, and they was in the same jail. He was in the same jail. So they was chilling when they was together. Now when he got out is when the brother just started going bonkers on all the podcasts about Max. They said Max went back behind everyone back, and by the time Pooh found out, it was too late. It was too late. I mean, even if he was still gonna do it, it wasn't too late. It wasn't nothing that Pooh could do. So I don't know. This here's a tricky one. Saying yes.
Yeah. Answer, yes, Judge. Now, question. Now, and then you also understand that when you get out, you are going to be subject to parole supervision in an additional 5-year period. Answer, yes. Question. And that if you violate the terms of parole supervision, even if you spend all 20 years in jail, in prison, you can spend an additional 5 years for violating those terms. Do you understand that? Answer, yes. Question. Now, is that your signature on the last page, which is the parole supervision page? Answer, yes. Question. As well as page 5? Answer, yes. Question. Did you read the plea form before you answered it? Answer, I did. Question. Did you go over it with Mr. Latoraka or Mr. Bruno? Answer, I did. Question. All right. And were the answers that you provided truthful to the best of your knowledge? Answer, yes. Question. All right. Do you have any questions for me before I take factual basis for your plea? Answer, no, Judge, not at the moment. Question. Are you satisfied with Mr. Latoraka and the Bruno firm representing you throughout these proceedings? Answer, yes. Question. Okay.
Mr. Judge.
Court. Counsel? Mr. Latoraka. Judge. Thank you, Mr. Latoraka. Question. Charlie, I'm going to ask you some questions about this offense that you're pleading guilty to. In that it alleges that on September 22nd, 2006, in the borough of Fort Lee here in Bergen County that you did commit aggravated manslaughter against one David Taylor. Do you understand what that charge is? Answer, yes. Question, have I explained to you what aggravated manslaughter means? Answer, yes. Question, all right. Have I also explained to you?
See, that's aggravated manslaughter. So he shouldn't have never got 75 years, period. How did that even happen from getting that much time? So now for them to cover themselves, they have to make him basically say yes to all of this stuff for him to come home. But once again, maybe that should have been something he discussed with his brother and let him know before, all that took place. And they could have teamworked what was going on. They could have teamworked it. Somebody said, but Pooh never knew Max went back on appeal till it was time. Max wasn't informing Pooh of a new plea agreement, which exhausted Pooh's appeal with more statements. These are the questions I'm wanted to know. So, with Max's plea agreement, it exhausted Pooh's chances for an appeal. Is what you're saying? So now Pooh can't even get an appeal because of this. What ceddy is reading off right now is what you're saying. And Pooh saying he never knew Max was going back and forth to court.
You how our law regarding accomplice liability and conspiracy works? Answer. Question. You have to say.
So he said, bring more statements. 0 chance. So 0. So if he even filed a motion for an appeal, Pooh sent, that means they just gonna straight up deny it. No, there's no chances. Somebody said Max ain't tell. Explain why you feel Max didn't tell. They done let the GBS in the door. Explain that one. Your player said the more statements, the less of a chance you will have to get free. With Pooh having more statements, he won't get free. There's other statements out there also. They done let the GDs in the door. Said he just took responsibility when getting resentenced. He just took responsibility, meaning responsibility for what he did and what he knew of, being that he wasn't there. And it's like, to me, it's like, don't they know all of this already about whatever they sentenced the guy Pooh to? Like, they already know all of these things that they asking him. So let's say at the beginning of the trial, all the way back at 2006, if he told his brother, yo, I'm copping out, man, I ain't gonna go to trial. I ain't liking the way this looking, man. It's shaky for me. And he would have copped out. They would have asked him all these questions too. Your player said, what does his responsibility have anything with him agreeing and saying yes to anything whose name in it? Status Boom said it will be possible for Max B fans to admit he's a snitch. They done let GDs in the door say he just agreed to what Pooh already got convicted of in trial. See, that's the tricky part with me. Didn't they already know all the stuff that they asked him to say yes to? And if he got convicted for what he said yes to, and they already know it, they just want him to plead to basically say, because he went to trial too, so they want him to say that he did know it, and basically you went to trial with us for nothing. Your player, your player said, I just seen a fan break his phone over this groupie. I mean, broke his phone over this. They say groupie love is real with fans. D. Johnson, salute, salute. Damn. Broke his phone? Damn.
Yes or no? Answer, yes. Question. All right. And do you understand that? Answer, yes. Question. All right. So now I'm going to ask you some questions about this offense. First, I'm going to have you go back to the day before that, September the 21st of 2006. On about that day, did you have a conversation with two of the other people that you're charged with in this indictment? Gina Marie Conway and Kelvin Leardam? Answer, yes, I did. Question. All right. And I want to focus for a moment. Kevin Leardam is your half brother. Is that correct? Answer, yes. Question. All right.
So, your player partner said, who had a female telling him Max went back later on? Let me say, Pooh had the female telling on him. Max went back later on in time to retell on him, making that two witnesses telling against him versus one, which will exhaust appeal to zero chance. But see, when you tell, you got to get on the stand in front of the person that you're telling on. So this paperwork right here doesn't say that if we do need you to come back to trial or whatever, which he's saying it made it zero chances for an appeal or zero chances for him to win the appeal or win in court if he get an appeal. Because if that was the case, they would need Max to get on the stand. Just paperwork or a prosecutor reading it, they would have to have Max come back to court and all that. And it doesn't say in the stipulation that he would have to come back to court. It says, sad how Ceddy Nash speaks on everybody being a rat except himself. Facts. A rat is a rat. Ceddy sent his brother to jail. I've heard people do that out there before, but we ain't seen no real concrete on that. I am E. Miller. Do you think once Max get his money right, he's gonna reach back out to help his brother with the lawyer, or nothing else? Would Pooh accept money from Max? I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. Shoot, Max been home, been caking in the dough. He already got enough money to do whatever he want to do or can do for Pooh. That shouldn't even be an issue at this point. I definitely don't think money is a problem at this point. And I don't, yeah. If that was me, I would take the, yeah, give me all that bread, but you still don't, motherfucker, you don't get no pass if I'm mad at a person, that ain't gonna give them no pass. But I don't know too much details of the case and why they got convicted, how much proof they had. And basically the proof probably really was that girl that really put the nail in the coffin for the pool guy. Because and when you're doing these murder trials, and they have to have eyewitnesses or real strong circumstantial evidence, if not all of the above. But this one right here is a deep one, y'all. This is a deep one. You got the internet on fire. You got New York City in an uproar right now. And all the way to somebody just saying Pistol Pete. He Pistol Pete. He lied to Pistol Pete. I think I seen Whack 100 saying something about it too. I gotta go see what that's about, man. Greg Cooperation said, y'all rats, not Max B. Max, he said Max ain't rat. That's what we trying to figure out. What's your take on it, man? D. Johnson said, Brian Blake got the paperwork on ceddy Nash joint. Oh wow. I haven't seen the surface yet. This is
All right.
But once again, the court system is able to use a person just saying yes, which will say yes to anything to get out of jail. Then they can utilize it on his co-defendant in the case to say, well, Your Honor, we have paperwork with his co-defendant saying yes to everything that we asked him about the case. And the judge supposed to say, oh, really? Or the jury supposed to say, oh, really? He said yes? And they got to read it off. Me listening to somebody, if I was in the jury and I hear somebody reading off somebody just saying yes to everything that they was asking them, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, he said yes to save himself. What they got don't mean that person that they're accusing of a murder that it in court, that means that it's true. They would have to provide way more evidence than them reading off. Something that somebody said that was going to get them free. And then even if a person got on the stand to testify to what they were saying yes to and actually spit fluently the actual event, what took place, I would still have to dissect if they lying or not. Because the police and the prosecutors played many games for years anyway, putting people on the stand and showing them and telling them what to say. Let them rehearse their words before they get on the stand. So we still have to determine if they telling the truth. So I'm still not seeing how this would be relevant. A good lawyer would say, man, you can't, Your Honor, that can't even be admitted in this trial. For real. Big facts. You said, first off, you got to be able to understand what you are reading. Well, the way they're breaking it down, it sounds in simple terms, but we're going to finish listening.
And did you and Mr. Leerdam, pardon me, in particular have an agreement that Mr. Leerdam was going to go over into the state of New Jersey because you were in New York? Is that correct? Answer, yes. Question. Mr. Leerdam was going to go over to the state of New Jersey and he was going to, he along with Jenny Conway, we're going to try to steal money from a couple of individuals? Answer, yes. Question.
See, and they the one breaking it down and saying everything. It ain't Max saying this stuff. They saying it. And basically telling him what it is, and he'll say yes. So that's my point. If they would have said that a man jumped off the Empire State Building and got up and walked away, would Max B say yes to that so he could go home? That's my point. If I was Pooh, if I was Pooh lawyer, I would say, how is that affecting me? Or I would tell, if I was his lawyer, I would say, how is that affecting my client? What he said to go home. When a person probably say yes to anything to go home, did he break down to y'all what happened in those events, what y'all was asking him at the time? He just said yes. Who said that he's not lying over my client? So he can go home. These are the tactics that shouldn't even be able to be used in court. Because it doesn't, it sounds crazy to me. But that goes back to, Pooh and him being on the same page. And Pooh be like, yeah, man, do what you do, go home out. That shouldn't be enough to hold me. Somebody in the chat saying that would be, because that's another person testifying. But it's not a person testifying against him. It's just a person taking a plea deal. That plea deal shouldn't even be able to be brought back in court. Anytime a person plead. So this is another thing. Like, co-defendants do stuff together, robberies, right? Basically something similar. Say that nobody get killed, but they got caught. And one of them got a record, and the other one don't got a record. But they facing big time. The one with the record say, I'm copping out. I'm not fighting. Because they got, they're looking like they might got him to the right. And or he might just be scared to go to trial. Because it's still a gamble. If they don't got you to the right, sometime then the jury just sway towards the prosecution with the bull crap that they present. And now he got to take the plea. His co-defendant going to be mad at him for taking the plea because now it messes his co-defendant up for fighting his and going to trial. And I'm trying to think back in the days when dudes were doing robberies and some of them cop out. How did that work back then? Because now this new era is if you take a plea and your co-defendant want to go to trial and you plead to whatever they charging you with. Now your co-defendant has the door to say that you snitched on him. Wow, boy, the streets is definitely a rap, man. Y'all better stop doing things together. Don't go unaliving nobody together. Don't go robbing nobody together. You better do your dirt by your lonely, man. For number one, nobody can tell on you, and you get to battle it how you want to battle it. Because now if you cop out, the co-defendant gonna say you told on him. Now if you got more of a criminal record than your co-defendant, and they don't have a criminal record, both of y'all go to trial. Your co-defendant might not get as much time because he don't have a bad record. You go to trial, you all the way out of here. So now, wow, now y'all put yourself in limbo to be able to cop out to what you want to cop out to and just be a man and go get, I'm going to take this charge and I'm going in and get my time over with. Now you are forced to not be able to take a plea now because it's going to be considered snitching. This is where I was confused at. Now it's just starting to come to the light to me. The craziness of doing crimes with people now. This is a wild one right here. Let alone Max B wasn't there. How they know Max B has something to do with it? The girl, right? So, but she's still trying to come out and claim stuff, and I don't even know why they even interview her. You straight up told you had to be the one to set it all off, man. But at this point, you can't take a plea when you're doing a crime with your homie. It might take 2, 3 of y'all to if y'all doing a robbery, depending on what you're robbing and who. One got the door, one doing the lookout, one holding down them people, making them stay on the floor. The other one searching around to find everything, or maybe the other two. Now everybody, something go wrong, they get caught. Two might want to cop out, other two or three want to go to trial. But now when the other two cop out, or maybe one want to cop out, maybe four want to cop out, and one want to go to trial. They ain't gonna say all four of them told on. Yo, if this ain't something stupid, man, for real. D. Johnson says, Sammy the Bull said a rat sends people to the slammer. What does that mean? That's a fact. But what does that mean? Oh, D. Johnson said, Max B is not the reason for no one getting a charge sentence. This is what I'm trying to figure out. The trial is over with. They got their time. They gave Max B too much time. They fought. He had some lawyers to fight it, to get him back in court. And what they saying is, basically, I guess they agreed with Max's lawyers that that was too much time, but we'll let him go. But still, he gotta still admit to what he did. Other than that, we go back to trial, I guess. So, without him going back to trial, he just admitting to what he did. But they need him to do that, for him to admit what he did, because if they plain straight just let him go and say it was that we gave him too much time, I don't know if there is any type of motion to file for them to just let him go. But giving him that much time might result in a lawsuit for the courts. From Max B could sue them for putting him in jail that long. So they can't retry him when? Meaning now? Or they can't retry him, so only thing that he could have done was to take the plea. So, but if they can't retry him, only option they must have gave him was, well, you take a plea, we drop the we drop the rest of the charges, and then what the time you've been in there will equal up to the charge that we give you, and then we'll release you if you take the plea. But it still should have been a way, if he didn't take the plea, that he could have brought the case back up and went back to trial. It gotta be that. It gotta be he could have got back in court. Because they just leave him an option to cop out and come home. Because his lawyers got him back in court. If they got him back in court, they had something in their favor for him that the prosecutors couldn't stop. Because they already got the conviction, so why do they care about him taking a plea and they drop it down to what it really probably supposed to been anyway? The manslaughter charge, which don't require them, like that's what the most is 10 to 15. The minimum is 5 for manslaughter, depending on the case. So this right here is a tricky one, boy. It's a tricky one, man. Pooh was already said this got his time. He trying to come back to court. Max just said, they said, well, you are aware that your brother went with a gun to actually do the crime, and it could have resulted in some people being unalive, right? And he said, yes. That's common sense, though. Anybody know that playing with a gun around anybody could result in people dying. That's anything. But you know, in their eyes is, but you was a part of it. So we want you to admit to that. D. Johnson said, will that hurt his Cody if they file motions to come home? If his Cody file motions to try to come home, it's that's my point. How would it hurt him or would it not? In my eyes is, and I ain't too great with law. I want somebody to break it down to me. Would it hurt his Cody and how? Would Max B have to come back and testify if his Cody was to get another trial? Because just saying yes can't stick no man in no jail. David had it, I want to say, in the thug trial when somebody supposed to have wrote a statement and they said, nah, Your Honor, if the person can't come in and testify to it, that paper is not, we don't want to submit it. But this don't have no stipulations in this paperwork that said he read, you know what I'm saying, that Max would have to come back and testify and all of that. None of that is in there. Because I'm sure if that was in there, Max wouldn't have did it. Bomb Legacy said he did a skid bid in New Jersey. Loveborg Starsky and Fidel Hussein was there. Mid-state would be Max B got that deal by paid lawyers paying off certain ones. You know. But they still saying he told. But I'm wondering, yeah, he got back in court to even get a plea deal. What kind of motion was that as well? Because it's clear as day he got a plea deal. I know my homie, when we was locked up, he had, how much, they gave him 15 years. And he went to trial. And he blew trial. And no, he didn't go to trial. He copped out to 15 years. Good fellas, peace. Yeah, it's definitely cold out here, brother. Ice, snow everywhere. I think he copped out to the 15, so his girl could go home and his homie could go home. He just went on, took all the way to self. And when he got to 15, he pulled some kind of motion to get brought back in and said that was too much for them to even give him something. And they knocked 5 off and gave him 10. And he did the 10 and came home. Even after he copped out to it. When you cop out, you can't go back to trial, you can't file for appeal or nothing. Boom Legacy said they blew trial along with his Cody. Tell me another time you blow trial, then later can snitch on your Cody. Make that's what I'm trying to figure out. How can you blow trial and then come back and snitch and your Cody already still found guilty already? He's already guilty. What? And what they're trying to say is he can't get back in court now because of what Max B said or just said yes to. I don't see that ever happening. Yes, you can. And that yes statements is still not good enough. You got to get up there and tell what the series of events and how it took place. State of New Jersey law is, D. Johnson says, state of New Jersey law is if you take a plea and admit, your plea cannot be used for no one else's case. That's the law. Hey, If he know that that can't hurt his brother, and his brother know that it can't hurt him, his brother shouldn't put out that he ratted on him, man. If that's the law in New Jersey, because I'm gonna Google that, man. Yo, you got Chat GPT?
Who?
Chat.
Yeah.
Chat
You know you'd be
GPT.
wrong.
Huh?
You know chat.
Yeah, but chat it for me because it did.
I'll Google it. I'll Google it.
Yeah, Google it because it did disappoint me one day with that time.
I'm tripping on some of the shit.
Yeah. With the name of what was his name? DJ Luke Nasty.
Right.
Boom Legacy. Bomb Legacy, excuse me, said, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. Not true. If you take a plea, that can be used. Say, for example, your Cody's wanted to get an appeal. That's my point. So if he get an appeal, they can try to use their paperwork, but I don't think paperwork is strong enough in a case. A person got to get on the stand and speak about what he's talking about. Ask in the state of New Jersey, if you plea bargain, can your co-defendant, can it be, after you plea bargain, can your co-defendant, can it be used against your co-defendant? That's the key to this right here. Can it be used against the co-defendant in the state of New Jersey? That's the tricky part, man. At this point, nigga, dudes, y'all better chill, and women too, though. You're being part of stick-ups and robberies, and then when you want to cop out, but your co-defendant want to go to trial, you can't cop out. You can't, but if you do, your co-defendant gonna say you told on them. Well, what you agreed to and you was with me, gonna make them use it against me. Bomb Legacy said, forget Max B. That girl is the one that nailed them. He said, y'all bug it. I'd be happy if at least my Cody could get out. I would too, so he could hold me down. Makes no sense. Both of y'all are there. Plus, now that Max is out, he can help. That's how I would look at it. And I would be saying, yo, I don't care what he said yes to. He wasn't there to even tell y'all nothing. I didn't tell him what happened. Me and him didn't even talk. Bottom line. How Max got backing? Man, you got French Montana in the pocket, man. Money. That's how Max got backing. And Gongo Roach was part of Max's trial. He'd be up here in the chat sometime. Surprised he ain't pop up now. But he's the one that helped Max. I wish he'd pop up now so we can get a full understanding from the horse's mouth himself that played the fact that Max getting out. Because
whoever said it, asked him for a statue. Because I don't think that's true. About that New Jersey shit.
You don't think it's true that they can't use it?
Because it says right here, cross claims. You can cross claim to argue the co-defendants is actually liable to you for all or part of plaintiff's original claim.
Meaning
so
the prosecutor can't use it.
Yeah, if it's liable, if the person is liable.
Right.
So you can use it.
If it's liable and depending on the case, and that's my theory again, Max wasn't there, so to them he's still not liable because he don't know exactly what happened in the house. Why his brother, they just supposed to went there just to rob, not unalive people. But then the incident happened, how they unalived it, he wasn't there to really say what happened. So he still wouldn't even be good for them anyway. He could just say what he heard, which would be hearsay. Well, him saying, if and he would have to say that, my brother told me this is what happened.
This is right here. Under Rule 479-5, a defendant can assert a claim against a co-partner, another defendant, if the claim relates to the same events as the original lawsuit.
After he plead guilty. So it doesn't stipulate in this paperwork that Ceddy Nash reading off that he would have to come back to court if needed, if his co-defendant was to get an appeal and go to trial again. So he don't even have to come back to court no more. So just for somebody, they don't just allow a person's written statement. The judge will have to really consider that, but normally they fight hard for that not to even be entered. You will have to be there to testify to that statement that you wrote, if I'm not mistaken. So Max ain't don't even gotta come back to court. If Max B didn't have that lawyer team, he'd still be in there doing time. Facts.
More than likely.
That's a fact. Sure, if you could blow trial, then snitch, it'd be a whole lot of mofos back in court. It's facts. You all the way right. For us to be paid that reduction, you right. It'd be so many, man. You know, with the trial and blue, now you get a second chance to rat and come back. Where they do that at? That's a fact. And another thing is, if you go to trial and you try to come back and get on the stand and testify, why would the jury believe you? You didn't do that at the beginning. Now you're going to come up and make up stuff and want to say something. Why do we want to believe you now? Because you in jail, you want to get out. So in my mind, you'll be saying anything to get out of jail now. So your testimony ain't, if I was a juror, their testimony wouldn't be strong to me. Say, for instance, if Max B did have to go back, I wouldn't believe Max B. I would say, nah, I don't believe him now. He had all opportunity the first time, but he took it to trial. So now he want to come back because he in jail? That doesn't even add up. That sounds buck wild, man. That's the buck wild part. What's confusing? How a person gonna come back after getting sentenced 75 and now want to tell to get out, and they allow it? That don't even make sense. And once again, he's just saying yes to what the questions they asking, and they reading off the stuff and he's saying yes. In my mind, once again, if I was the lawyer of Poole Sims, I would say, what make y'all believe, because he said yes, that my client is guilty of what he's saying? He's just saying something to get out of jail. He didn't even explain to y'all what y'all was asking. He didn't tell y'all how he went and changed the tires to the car that y'all asking about. Did the heat work inside of it? He didn't break nothing down. He just said yes. Yes. None of it making sense to me, man. I want somebody to make it make sense. Put it in the chat, man. Drop a comments. Do something, man. For real, let me know. Bomb Legacy said, my co-defendant flipped on me. I was very upset, but I had to look in that mirror. It was my bad for even dealing with a hollow person. Well, see, this to be the thing when we do crimes with our peers growing up. Everybody always, yeah, they call everybody a rat. Oh yeah, don't mess with him, he a rat. Don't mess with him, he a rat. Man, they clowns, man. That was me, man. I ain't never telling on none of my boys. And they all tough in the street. Oh, we got a problem? Yo, go get the things. Come on, let's go do this. Let's go do that. But as soon as they get in there, in your mind, all these stories you hearing about your homie and you know he's tough and all that, in your mind in jail now, you like, oh, I know my boy stand up. All stuff we done did together, and you know, he's a thoroughbred, and you know, but as soon as they get in there, that ain't the homie that was outside. This a new person in here now. And if y'all separated, you sitting somewhere like, oh man, twiddling your fingers. Damn, I hope he ain't telling nothing over there, man. Damn. It happens. Went through with my co-defendant. Had us separated. And even told us, they told me, well, your buddy in there said, you know, all of that was yours. And I said, I don't care what he telling you. He telling you something to save his ass. Ain't nothing was mine. I don't even know what you talking about. I'm just getting a ride. They ain't got nothing to do with me. And they ran the same line on him, and he told them the same, basically the same thing. And we get back together. We laugh. He asked me, did I say that was his or whatever? I'm like, why would I do that? And he was like, no, I just had to ask you because they ran that on me. I said, yeah, they told me that you said something too. He was like, say word. I'm like, yep. But we already know the police separate you and tell you that your man told it just so you could tell. And even if a person did tell on you, you still don't got the right to tell back on them. That's a no-no. Bottom line. Period. Bomb Legacy said, yo, I helped my Cody beat a dang body. He did. Then later, we catch some burning cases, and he flipped on me. Wow, see what I'm saying? Shaking my head, and his excuse was, yo, I spent almost 4 on the island. And sir, it doesn't matter where you spent. You keep doing crime, you gonna go in there and get some time. If you knew you did 4 years on the island or 4 whatever, 5, 2 years, and you don't get caught for another case and didn't say you did all that time, that's why you gonna go sour now? No, you should, once you did that 4, you should have came and said, I ain't doing nothing no more. You don't get no right to say it and do. That's crazy, bro. Sorry you went through that. But I ain't gonna lie, that's why I picked my poison and left the streets alone, man. I seen too many people falling right in front of my eyes, and too many of their friends is the ones that was telling on them. That street game was a done deal because it ain't the streets no more. It's not us against the police no more. It's us against us. The police get paid to sit back and write down and videotape and record everything we say now and make a case. They don't even gotta work no more. Hard jobs is over for them. Eat their little donuts and food and listen to the fools go in there tell on their people and their own selves. It's crazy. But I don't know, man. Y'all drop some comments, man. I gotta make some moves, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. This one is a tricky one. I can't see how they could use something against a person that's already found guilty. For real. For real. It's us against us, D. Johnson. We don't know if your own homeboy is telling. You don't know when y'all leave each other and later tell each other, all right, see y'all tomorrow, I'm out. I'm going home. We don't know if they really going home. I'm going to meet with the police and report. And then you wonder why years, months later down the road, they jumping out, locking you up, and you don't even know why. For a conspiracy. And then you learn later on who done told on you. And you got to figure it out. Because sometimes the names is redacted. You just can only read where y'all was at and who was you with at that time. You got to try and think back who it could have been. And then you would be like, hell no, that nigga was going home that night. You thought he was going home. He was going to meet with them people. That's just that simple. That's why I say it's us against us now. It's not us against the police no more. Period. They don't have to work to catch us no more. They just put the play together and set everything up. And then nab you, and then that's it. It's funny wreck for them. They jumping out with they pistolas and jumping and putting the cuffs on you. After that, their job is done. They got videotapes, they got everything, and they got the people telling, and they give it all to the prosecution. Now they on to the next. It's crazy, man. Ain't no more doing no robberies and stick-ups with nobody. Cause one take the plea, they gonna say you ratted. Come on, man. That's deep. That's deep, man. So y'all drop some comments, man. Hit that like button and let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all let me know and drop some knowledge on me and let me know, some extents of the law. If a person can tell, if a person's plea can be used against them, I need y'all to drop that on me. Bomb said crazy ish is it's more snitches in jail. We had to hide and smoke trees, not just from the COs, right, but other jealous inmates. That's crazy. That's wild, boy. That's crazy. Y'all be easy, man. Your boy Big Bootsie. I'm out. I'll be back, man. I gotta discuss some things with this Anton Daniel dude. And we're gonna talk about, they saying Jay-Z and Beyonce fled the country because of the Epstein paperwork. Is that true, or they already was buying their house over in the UK anyway? I can't see them fleeing and nobody, but everybody already know where they at. I don't know. People been trying to get Jay-Z for the longest for some stuff, man. So I don't know, man. They saying if his name keep popping up, maybe something might be true about something. He just been getting around it. Well, I don't know.
Fake.
It sounds fake to me, but I'm gonna do some research and I'll be back. Your boy Big Bootsie, Street Knowledge Podcast. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification so you'll know when I'm up here. Peace.